bet you're the kind of guy that's tired of letting life meaninglessly drift by. So in this video, you're going to finally see the path to your desired future, because I'm going to help you answer these two questions. One, where am I? Where am I right now? And two, where am I going? I'm going to show you how to use the life score assessment to answer the first question. And for the second question, we're going to draft our very own written life plan. Let's go. So hey, I'm Riley. I'm an Air Force officer and a giant productivity nerd, and I'm super excited to help you actually begin to draft your life plan, because there's only one way to actually achieve what you want in life, and that's to intentionally go after it. And to do that, it's gotta be written down. You can't just be generally thinking about, oh, this is the kind of life. No, we're going to actually write down our very own life plan. I just did this process a few months ago and it changed my life. The entire framework for life planning I'm shamelessly stealing is from Michael Hyatt's life focus process. This is from the Full Focus, folks. It changed my life. And so that's what we're gonna do right now. This will be a top line explanation. If you wanna dive more in depth, well, we have a link to the full kit in the description below. I'll show you some bits and pieces of the kit while we're talking about life planning. Well, this is kind of funny. Literally, as I was just editing this, they just announced that Full Focus is doing the next Life Focus virtual retreat. This is literally the 2-day event. That showed me everything I'm talking about in this video. And registration just opened this week, 50% off. Affiliate link is in the description below. Back to the video. So part one, where am I right now? The way we're gonna get after this is the life score assessment. Now, this is a process where you look at every domain in your life, your family, your work, your vocation, your hobbies, every aspect of your life. You're gonna reflect on where you are right now. Now, it's actually super easy to do this because all you've gotta do is take the free life score assessment. Links in the description below. But you're gonna honestly take a look at every domain in life and see where you are now and where you need improvement, because you're gonna actually get a score on every domain of life when you follow the prompts. It takes like 10 minutes, and then you have a concrete number to say, where am I with fitness? Where am I with my relationships? And you can kind of see what you're happy with, where you are now, and then maybe what needs some improvement, where you wanna go. Because without knowing where you are now, without an honest look and reflection on how you're doing, how your life is in terms of what you want it to look like now, what that disconnect is between where you want to go in the future. And that's what we're doing, the life score assessment. Because here's the bad news. Where you are now, that's really where you're going. Without actually changing anything about your life, without taking action, the current trajectory that you're on is reflected in your life score. If you're struggling right now with fitness, unless you change, that's gonna compound. If you're struggling in your relationships or at work, those are the things that are gonna continue to fall through the cracks unless you start taking actionable change. So that's why you have to have an idea of what this current trajectory is. You have to ask yourself these hard questions. Is my current trajectory in line with my personal core values? Now, this is actually part 2 of building a life plan. So if you're like, what is this core values thing? Check out part 1. It's right here. And you can actually see part 1 where I talk about defining your own personal core values and defining your own personal mission statement, because that's the foundation here. And now we're getting practical into each domain of life and just taking an honest look at the trajectory. And is that trajectory in line with your core values? Does it match your personal mission statement? If no, that's okay. That's where we can start thinking about where we want to start changing our life intentionally through the life planning process. And then you have to be honest with yourself on your current trajectory. What are the patterns in your life and the behaviors that are holding you back?
It's all Obi-Wan's fault. He's jealous. He's holding me back.
Sorry, big Star Wars nerd. I know. But you have to, because if you're honest with yourself and you know that, fitness is a priority, but you have a pretty regular habit of sleeping in, maybe you work out sometimes, but not the most consistently because you stay up late watching TV or Netflix every night, so you don't really have the energy to get up and work out in the morning. That's a pattern. That's a behavior that is on your current trajectory and directly in conflict with your values and the future that you want. So that's that honest look of the trajectory that you're on. So where am I going? And this is aspirational. Where do you want to be going? And this is honestly, I kind of find this the fun part. So this is where you can look at every single domain in your life, every single domain that's listed in the life score assessment. And you're going to look at that and see, what do I want this to look like over a 10-year period? Now, the Life Focus Kit does focus specifically on the 10-year life plan. And I kind of like this because I know sometimes we do like the gravestone exercise of like, what do you want people to say about you at the end of life? Like, there are other ways of thinking about like planning and being intentional with your life, but this 10-year period, a 10-year period, I think is just far enough away where you can kind of paint the picture of no matter what your current circumstances are, what could you achieve? Where would you be 10 years from now in each domain? What do I want my marriage to look like 10 years from now? What do I want my job to look like 10 years from now? Where do I want to be living 10 years from now? These are the things that you can consider in the where am I going portion. Take a look at every single domain and take a moment to journal for each one briefly. Hey, what do I want my life to look like in 10 years? But that's not the only thing you should do, because then it's time. That's where you got to break it down. You got to break it down into key milestones and habits or goals, because these milestones and habits are what are going to allow you to actually achieve the life that you want. So if you look at each domain and you've got a prompt of maybe, hey, I want to be, 10 years from now, I want to be in the best shape of my life, healthy, no longer overweight, and injury-free. Like, that's a nice 10-year view of what you might want your fitness to look like. But if you want to break that down into some milestones, that's when it gets fun. That's where you can get a little bit creative with what you want to do. Maybe you want to, in the next 5 years, run your first Ironman triathlon. Maybe over the course of the next 5 years, you want to be in a jiu-jitsu competition. Like, there's a lot of different things that you could think of like, over the next few years, I could make a simple milestone that I want to achieve on my way to get there. And those milestones, that's where you can begin to think in that 3 to 5 year period. Give yourself enough time to where it gives you the ability to adjust and make plans for getting towards an ambitious milestone on the way to painting your future, the desired future that you want in each life domain. And then finally, we get down to the habits. That's actually, what are the things that are going to enable me to achieve the milestones and therefore achieve the desired future in each domain of life that I want. It's simple. If you want to achieve that milestone of running your first Ironman, you're going to have to start a habit of swimming and running and biking pretty regularly. Like, those are the things that you're going to have to establish as regular habits and a regular part of your life. So now you know right now, within the constraints of the realities of my life, and that's an important thing to think of, because you can't change everything instantly about your life. Like, we all have a lot of commitments to work, to family. This stuff takes time, and that's okay. We start to build the habits that we can now so that we can enable the success and achievement that we want in the future. Now, like I said, this is a very simple overview of how to build your life plan, and this is going to take some time. You have to actually go through that life score assessment and actually journal through what you want each domain of your life to look like in the future. And I want you to do that. And if you're interested in the in-depth process, like I say, you should definitely check out the Life Focus Kit and the Life Focus course from Full Focus. I have an affiliate link in the description below. And I actually just finished this. I am now officially a Full Focused Certified Pro. I'm so fancy. But yes, no, I actually just finished my Full Focus certification training. So if you're interested, DM me on Instagram and I will actually walk you through this process, step by step through this process. So just let me know. And that's the thing, really big picture for the 2 parts of the video that I've done on this. Part 1 was all about defining your values so that you can write your own personal mission statement, your role, your legacy, right? Your impact, and the activities, the gifts, the talents that you have to bring to this world. And then part 2, that's what we've been talking about today. That's getting practical in each domain of your life of what you want that desired future to be. And when you piece these 2 things together, congratulations, you have a life plan. But it takes time and it's not easy. You have to give yourself some grace to go through the process. Hit me up anytime and make sure you subscribe for more content on productivity with purpose, because that's what we're trying to do around here. So until next time, may the force be with you.